Hi, this is Andy from GPS Training. In this next video, I'm going to show you how you can export from BaseCamp software any routes that you've planned, or any tracks that are in your GPS device that you've put into the software to your actual computer. This is so you can use these routes or tracks to maybe email to a friend or someone in a walking group, so they can then use that route or track in their own GPS device, or maybe that you want to then use that route or track in another software. Or one option could be Google Earth. It is a way you can export from BaseCamp software to then view your route or track in Google Earth. So it's really a means of being able to share the stuff that you've done in BaseCamp software or on your GPS device with others or other software. I've already got BaseCamp software open. It's just minimized at the bottom of my computer screen in the taskbar. So I'm just going to double click on the BaseCamp logo in the bottom just to open up the software. I've already got my GPS device connected with a USB cable, so I can see in the top left hand window under the wording devices my Oregon 700 listed with any mapping that's on my GPS device. Maps wise, I've went to the maps menu and selected my Garmin GB Discoverer 50K. But what I want to do today is actually export some routes and tracks that I've already created in the software from earlier exercises. So just as an example, in my collection I've got a folder called walking. If I hit the little plus symbol to the side of that folder called walking, I'll then see any list files that I've created with walks or routes in. So I can see one named Bowscale Fell. In the bottom left hand window with the Bowscale Fell list file highlighted, I can now see that route with the three green square boxes called Bowscale Fell, the name of the route. I can right click on that route and select the option of view on map. So if I select view, show on map, the second option down, show on map, and then it'll show me that route on the map that I've planned. So that's the route that I've decided I now want to email to a friend to use in their own GPS device. All we need to do is select on the file at the top and export, and in the selection that appears we can say export selection, so it'll only export what I've got highlighted. So I'll just show that again. So in the my collection, the library my collection, I've highlighted my list file called Bowscale Fell, and it's just the route that I want to send to a friend, so I can highlight the Bowscale Fell route at the bottom. I'd right clicked on that earlier to say show on map, just so I could actually view it on the map and see where it is. So with the route actually highlighted, I just use the file, export selection. What will happen now on the computer, BaseCamp software will ask me where do I want to export this file to. The normal format that we'd use in other GPS devices is a format called .gpx. That's the normal format that's selected by default. So we can see in the box that has appeared, it's asking me what I want to name the file, so I'm going to leave it with the name Bowscale Fell. It's telling me it's going to save it as a GPS exchange, a .gpx file, which is the format that most of the GPSs will work with, and it's asking me where do I want to save it. So it's highlighting my document, so I could create a new folder in my documents. If I right click in my documents box that's appeared and select new folder and call it my GPS routes, or something that makes sense to yourself where you're going to save these GPX files to. So I'm going to call it my GPS routes, and if I just select the open on there and then save, it'll now save that GPX file to my desktop with my computer, or sorry, my documents where I've created that folder. You could actually create a folder on your desktop, it's wherever you would like to save them to. So I'll do one final one. This time I'm going to highlight the one called Scales Fell. Now this time the Scales Fell route that I created was actually made up of some individual waypoints as well. So if I want to make sure that I send those waypoints to a friend as well to use via an attachment on an email, or just make sure that I save the waypoints as well as the route on the folder on my computer, rather than just highlighting the route in the bottom left hand window, I'm actually going to use the list file. But what I can do as before, I can highlight the route first in the bottom left hand window, right click on it and select the option show on map, just so I can see where it is on the map, check it's the right route that I want. And then this time if I actually highlight the list file rather than the individual route, just to make sure that everything within that list file, including the three waypoints, are exported. So with the list file Scales Fell highlighted, I use the file, export, and use export scales file. So actually this time I'm going to export the whole list file, scales file, and again it'll go to the my documents. It's remembering the last place that I saved that last file to, hence it's not getting me to select a new folder. So if that's the folder I want to save it to, I can simply select save. It's got GPS exchange GPX selected, which is the type of file I want to save, so I just select save now. That's what that one actually saved now. And the final one, in Northumberland, I've got a list file called Dove Crag. It's actually a track that I actually walked. With that one, I'm going to select the show on map again. So I'm just going to highlight the track at the bottom and just right click on it, show on map, just to see where it is. And then this time when I export it, I'm going to use the file, export again, export Dove Crag. And where it's got save type as GPS exchange, in the little drop down box there's a few other options. If I select KML, that's a format that you can actually use in Google Earth if you've got Google Earth loaded on your computer. So again, I can save it in exactly the same place, the My GPS routes and documents, click save. And now if I minimize BaseCamp software down, and I'm just going to open up my file explorer from my taskbar at the bottom of my computer, so it's wherever you normally have your documents folder. Double click on my documents folder, and I've got my folder called My GPS routes that I created earlier, and in there I can see Bose scale file, the Dove Crag KML, which I would be able to open up in Google Earth, and actually the scales file GPX. You can see they're all very small files, a matter of kilobytes, so you could attach these to an email if you were emailing to someone else to then use in their own GPS device. So I hope you found this video useful on how you export any routes or tracks from your BaseCamp software to your actual computer. Thanks for watching this video.